Hey, my name is EJ Smith. Back at it again with another video. To talk more about my weekly recap from last week. I know I'm late to posting for this week, but I guess right now it's Tuesday. It's about 3 p.m. right now. But last week was honestly was was honestly a little bit of a slow week. I talked to a developer within the accelerator program to help me with that with my outreach automation workflow. And so he gave me some great key points on how to approach what I'm doing for my client. It was interesting because he actually talked to me about the difference between being an AI automation agency and an outreach agency. And so the perspective that I got from that, and I may be wrong, but it's more of what are you doing to help the day-to-day operations of a company? How are you helping them be more efficient within their operations? And for me, I kind of feel like that's similar to what I'm doing for outreach because when you're trying to sell a product and a service, there is some form of outreach that you need to do that's mundane. And so I was a little bit confused. Honestly, I was a little bit confused on what he was talking about, and it was probably what he was telling me was probably in a broader perspective of what was truly stated from the other person. But um, that did give me an understanding though to why it's important to understand what industry and what niche you're actually trying to work on within your agency and how specifically your agency is. My counter argument to what he was telling me, actually like talking to me about, um, would be that I'm at the beginning early stages, and so I'm really trying to see what markets work, um, where I could create my MVP and actually know where I can add value. You know, what industry actually needs my help, where my automation I'm working on can actually be used to help create more value for a company. And so that was neat for me to talk to him about um last week. Something else that I also worked on last week was my website as well. It's not really too important because I need more of a client base so I can put more case studies on my website, but it's good for me to actually work on it. So I ended up doing that. Last week was my birthday too, so I had a bunch of friends in town. So we had a great time. It was cool, it was chill. Um, and I was doing a lot of prep for this week. And the reason why I was doing a lot of prep for this week was actually because of a meeting that I was supposed to have with my client yesterday, but I ended up having it today, which was cool and what I actually needed as well because it's kind of to helps kind of set this, the first stepping stone to what we're going to be working on this summer and to the end of December. And so at first, I talked to you guys about this. So at first, I was planning on just targeting their dormant leads. So leads that haven't been used or haven't done any outreach to the company for, let's say, 6+ months or something like that, just for an example. And what I wanted to do is revitalize some of those dormant leads to come back to the client to help my client be able to sell the system that they have or the software that they have. And what I came to realize is that the company that I'm working for, or sorry, working with, their recurring revenue for a specific system that or software that they sell was too low. I'm just gonna say it was too low. Um, and maybe too low for my liking just because of the wealth creation that could be seen through that aspect. And so that was a concern for me, but also I was like, okay, it's cool because honestly, I'm really just trying to use this as a case study to see if my idea actually works, to see if my not only my idea, but the workflow that I create from my idea actually works for my client. And so that really didn't that really didn't matter to me the most in terms of a long-term perspective outlook. what came from the conversation that we talked about today was okay, I see opportunity here for growth. I don't think I need to work on the dormant leads because of the amount of recurring revenue is already low. So why not I just find new leads for them? Okay, like that makes sense. It's cool. And so he actually liked the idea. We talked about certain ways that we could do that in terms of the email outreach process. And so that was cool. Now I actually have something to work with. And prior to this conversation, there was just too much uncertainty that I didn't like. And so it kind of stalled the process of what I've been trying to work on with them. And so this week, I will be doing a lot of market research to figure out the target audience that we're trying to attack, how to do the outreach for this targeted audience, um, see what platforms I can use to help with this outreach process, and so on and so forth. Today or yesterday, I actually bought my domain because the domain that I bought a couple months back just didn't match what I really wanted for my company. And I would say that's that's on me because I shouldn't have even bought the domain that I bought in the first place. Um, until now, like I like this domain. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Y'all see it. Y'all will see it. Don't worry. Um, but something else that I'm disappointed in myself in is that I haven't been able to. I haven't. I'm not gonna say I haven't been able to. I haven't posted a video on LinkedIn or TikTok, and that's something that I actually need to work on. It is something that I'm nervous about, and I'm okay with saying that because it's something that's completely new to me. And so when it comes to building your personal brand, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that's something that I've been trying to work on as well, because I'm known to be an athlete and just an athlete for real. And this side of me, nobody really knows about, other than like close family, all that kind of stuff. But it's a new side of me that are people going to be brand new to seeing, and so it also brings opportunity, but it brings a lot of anxiousness, um, because again, it's something new that I haven't done and that I'm continuing to work on. I mean, you guys are a part of my journey right now. You guys are seeing me going from 0 to 5 figures. And so once I complete that, obviously there's gonna be 5 figures to something else. But right now it's 0 to 5 figures. And so that's where my mindset's at. Obviously, I just introduced you guys to an obstacle that I'm going through personally. And so I'm just trying to continue to work through that. No matter the anxiety that I have, no matter the fear that I have, I have to continue to take a step at a time to get to where I want to be. Once I'm able to do that, the fear and the anxiousness should go away. I can't say it clearly yet because I haven't gone through it, but through past experiences in my sport, it should go away. There'll always be butterflies and all that stuff. Okay, yeah, we understand that. But in terms of the experience and all that stuff, I should be, rolling in the future. And so right now, that's what I'm working on. I'll most likely finish our website sometime this week. I have the domain, so all I had to do was get the approval that all I needed to do was get the approval that the domain was actually real and is actually verified to me in order to connect it to my workspace for the domain or for the website that I'm working on. And so that's what I'll be doing for this week. And continue to work on the content. I'm continuing to work on my workflow for my client and do market research. I kind of flip those. I probably most likely do market research, work on the workflow for my client, and then do content creation. So those are like the three things that I really need to focus on and hone in on for the rest of this week. I'm very grateful for this opportunity with my client. He's been very helpful. He understands the position I'm at right now in terms of my experience and stuff like that, and he's willing to walk me through this process. Um, and I think it's important. This is another lesson too. I think it's important that you actually can have a good relationship with your client. That you guys have similar values, um, similar. What's the word? What's the word that I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank. You always, yeah, similar values. I guess it's just similar values. It's important for you to have similar values as your client, and I'm sorry, vision and a vision. Um, because if those two go hand in hand with each other, I mean, it works wonders. Because you guys are able to build off of one another, and you guys are both focused on a similar outcome. And as an agency, you're really here to serve your client, and that's important to understand because honestly, you're trying to create wealth for yourself, but it's also important to create wealth for others because then it'll come back to you in full. And so just remembering that it's not just about the money, because I even struggle with this, but it's about, obviously enjoying the process, but also being able to solve a problem for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I just thank God for that because there's a lot of people who start, an agency like this, who don't have the connection, who doesn't have the networks, and who doesn't even have the help to, to do what they want to do. And so I'm just so grateful that I have these things, and that I've been given these things. And so that's pretty much it for this video. If you stuck around with me for this long, I love you. And I just pray that whatever you're doing in life right now, that you're doing it to the best of your ability, and that you find joy in working in in the process, um, and not to focus too much into the future, but in the now, because it's something that I try to continue to tell myself every day. And so, with that, thank you, and I'll see you guys next week.